Welcome back to the First Bankers Trust Spotlight, where we sit down with real people, have real conversations, and we discuss business, banking, leadership, and community. Today, we have Shawn Ryan, who's the relationship manager of Buckland Funding. Shawn works with people who are looking to finance land, whether that's hunting ground, recreational property, investment land, or any place that they've been dreaming about owning for years. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about Buckland Funding, what they do. We're going to see what Shawn knows about the land market. We're going to know and learn what buyers should know before they get started. And since Shawn spends a lot of time around good people who love to be outdoors, we're going to hopefully get a good hunting story or two out of him today. So, Shawn, thanks for joining us. Really excited to have this one. First and foremost, for people who may not know you, what's kind of the quick version of who you are, what you do with Buckland Funding, and how you ended up here?
Sure. Thanks. Always good to see you, Kyle, and thanks for having me on. I am the relationship manager at Buckland Funding, and my basic uh, story or title or what I do for Buckland Funding is I am a customer's first touch that basically wants to get pre-approved or find out information on pre-approval process to be able to buy hunting and recreational ground. I am their first touch. All of our information sends them to me, whether it's via my office line, my cell phone, and basically what I do for Buckland Funding is get to know that client, that customer, future customer, and tell them all about Buckland Funding, tell them about our product, what makes us different from other lenders, and just make them feel comfortable about using Buckland Funding as their lender, and that the reason why is because we specialize in what they're wanting to do, buying, hunting, or recreational ground. So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Great, great. So, let's peel that back a little bit further. So, when we think about what Buckland Funding actually does and who you actually work with, what would you say is kind of the typical customer or some of the more detailed pieces of what it is that Buckland Funding does?
Sure. So it ranges. I mean, it's a huge range. It's anywhere from first time land and hunting buyers that are looking at their first 20 or first 40 or 60 or what have you. Or it's that person that is looking at their third farm or fourth farm and they've been buying and selling, making some profit, and then they're looking to increase their acreage, a better farm, a bigger farm, things like that. So, I mean, anything dealing with anybody from, $75,000 land loan to, 18 million, 25 million, whatever it is, we can handle that. We can help those people. And again, just what makes us different for Buckland Funding.
Awesome. So, when you work with brokers, buyers, or whoever, what are some of the common mistakes that you see people making when they're thinking about making one of these deals, or what kind of advice would you give them?
Sure. That's a great question, and it touches on the best question. That is, if a customer comes and they're a little late to the party, meaning, boy, they've been working with a broker or an agent, but they haven't gotten pre-approved yet. And their perfect 40 or perfect 100 acres comes up for sale. The broker calls them, finds them. They call us or a different lender, and their process is a little bit longer, not being able to get them pre-approved, what have you. That property is going to be gone in 2 to 3 days. And I mean, that is going to be it, and they lose it. I hear that so many times and deal with that so often. And so along with that question, one of the biggest advices I could give is get pre-approved before anything. What can you get pre-approved up to? Our lending officers, our team at Buckland Funding will be able to help you with that number and allow you to be able to go shop it.
Gotcha. And so, for someone to get started on that, they can go to bucklandfunding.com or they can reach out to you direct, right?
Yes, correct. And at bucklandfunding.com, there is a form that you can fill out with just a little bit of information, an email, a good contact number, obviously name, where you're looking at. Are you working with a broker? Yes or no? How you heard about Buckland Funding? So just a little bit of the top points that allows me to, ask the correct questions when I call you back or we talk on your first call.
Right? Awesome. What about when you think about the land market or the industry right now? I mean, we know rates are high, all over the place for everything. So when you think about the land market now, how is it different than it was a few years ago, back during COVID and really just kind of what's kind of your insight on where that industry is today?
Sure, and to go along with that, yes, the interest rates are a battle, and that's the number one question. Obviously, I get, and the lenders get, no matter where they're at. What's the current interest rate? What can I get, an interest rate at over what term, what length period, things like that. What I started with Buckland Funding 5.5 years ago, and I still remember to this day. And we tell this story, you know it. And my very first Iowa Deer Classic with Buckland Funding, we had a show special of 2.75. And I tell you what, I still to this day, that's free money. And boy, would you like to have that right now? But
Uh,
yes. So interest rates have crept up, but in reality, they've come back down a little bit. They're kind of hovering right now, depending on, different circumstances. But yeah, that's obviously a key factor in where it's at. But I will say this, and brokers and agents, land brokers and land agents that I deal with every day agree 1,000%. If your perfect 40 comes up for sale, or your perfect 60 or perfect 100, whatever it is, buy it now, and really don't let the rate ruin it. Don't sweat the rate, because the rates are going to go up and come down. And again, you can always refinance that property. But again, land investment is known to not lose profitability. It's one of the best investments you can make.
yeah.
And
Not making any more of it, right?
that's right. And I always tell people, there's a song in there somewhere. that He's not making any more of it. So,
Yeah. That's great. Well, okay, so let's shift gears a little bit and let's talk about you. So outside of Buckland Funding, what's something about you that people may not know?
oh, um, they might not know. I mean, I'm an avid hunter, have been for, over 50 years. Um, uh, Man, not know. I was a high school All-American in wrestling, and both my boys were successful, and both went to the University of Iowa and wrestled at the University of Iowa. And if you know Iowa, we're known for big bucks, and we're known for wrestling. And they both went to the University of Iowa, wrestled there, and then my youngest went on to UNI and wrestled there as well. So big wrestling family, big wrestling fans. That's probably something a lot of people don't know about.
Yeah. Who's gonna win between you and me if we had to throw down right now?
Oh, you'd have to bring a couple buddies. No, no. My age, I tell you what, I'd be scared. I'd run from anybody right now.
That's great. Okay, so yeah, big in the hunting industry, right? So you got to have a good hunting story. So what's a fun one that you would want to share?
Lots of stories. I love telling stories, and I've got lots of stories. Every hunting trip is a story, and even with my buddies or my sons, my kids, you get in that vehicle, and I always look at them, and I always say, as we're starting to drive, I always say, "Hey, let's go get some stories." So we always get stories when we go on a hunting trip, and that's one of my favorite parts is, just enjoying that and getting that. But well, probably one of my favorite is a couple years ago. I was fortunate enough to be able to go with a good friend of mine in Southern Colorado and hunt. Has a nice setup down there, and hunting elk. And we went down there, archery hunt. Let me preface that by, and I also want to say this: I've been shooting bow, my entire life. I shoot year round. I shoot in a summer league, a winter league. I practice out to 90, 100 in the summer all the time, whether it's playing games or what have you. But so we were down there, and we basically chase them in the morning. So you go out and, obviously the bugles, and if you can't get up on them or what have you. So in the afternoons, we don't chase them. We let them relax, but we sit on water holes and wallows, and we do that with tree stands. And I can't remember what night it was, and I was shooting what you call a slider. So my pins on my archery sight, for those that might not know archery all that well, they were set at 25, 40, and 50. And then it's called a slider, so that if I ranged an animal and it was farther than 50, I could go up and dial my sight right to that yardage, whether it was, 60, 62, what have you. I could dial it exactly. Well, I was on a wallow and it was being used, and I was excited on the edge of a meadow. I mean, it was beautiful night. It was just starting to, sunset, and I mean, the animals were coming alive. I saw some turkeys out in this meadow, and I saw some mule deer, and so I was just enjoying the night, just relaxing. And all of a sudden, I got some movement out of the corner of my eye, and I looked over, and here comes a bull coming out of the meadow, or coming out of the timber into the meadow, and he's walking. He's all by himself. He's not coming to the wallow, which was nice and close, 20 yards. And he's walking and he's skirting that timber. And if anybody knows and have heard the term buck fever, well, it also is about elk fever and turkey fever, what have you. And whether you're shooting a rifle and you're nervous, it's moving, and the aperture's moving, or when you're an archer and it's buck fever, you're shaking. Well, I raised my rangefinder to find out how far he was. Now, I tell you what, Kyle, I couldn't get on him. I was shaking, and my rangefinder was 22, 50, 48. And I'm like, oh, Lord. And he's still walking. And I'm like, stop, do something. And sure enough, he just right then he stops. And I'm like, oh, perfect. And I click him and I get him, and he was right at about 60. My pin, I just rolled it down to 60, and I looked up and he's walking. And I'm like, oh no, don't do that. So what I did is I just rolled it down a little bit farther, and before I clipped my release on, I just cow called real quick. I was like, ew, just like that. And I was coming to full draw, and I got to full draw, and he stopped, and he turned broadside, perfect, quartering away just a little bit. My pin got right behind that shoulder, and the shot just broke clean, and dope, right up through him. And it was great because I was able to see him go down, and knew right where he was. And I tell you what, and then I got shaken again. It was just the after and before the shot. It just settled right in the way it was supposed to. But oh, just yeah, that shake, and I didn't know if that's going to be able to read him or.
The adrenaline rush.
Oh, it's unbelievable, and you can't describe it unless you've had it. And it doesn't matter if you're squirrel hunting or turkey hunting or what have you. So,
Awesome.
yeah,
One that almost got away.
almost.
Almost. Great. All right. Well, that's really what I got for today. Really appreciate you taking the time. Is there anything else you want to throw out there to anybody that wants to get in touch with you about Buckland funding?
Yeah, so and again, I can walk you through the pre-approval process. It's super simple and super easy. It doesn't take much at all. Our team at Buckland Funding, one thing that I do want to say that makes us different is, again, we specialize in the hunting and rec ground. We keep your loan in-house. You're going to be assigned to one loan officer. You're going to have all their contact information. You're going to obviously all have all my contact information. So anytime during the loan process, the loan period, you can reach out, not get lost in a big conglomeration, and know exactly who you're talking to, and somebody that specializes in that. So that's super, super important. Again, we don't sell that loan off like a typical mortgage. Okay. And our customers that do use Buckland Funding, they really like that. They really like that. And I've had multiple customers over the years reach out and, looking for a bigger property. Hey, where were we at on rates? What do I need to do? And so again, we make it super simple, super easy at Buckland Funding. And again, this is what we specialize in. And again, we just want you to enjoy the experience and not have to worry about it, not have to get anxiety over it.
Right. Awesome. Great. Okay, so that's Shawn Ryan, relationship manager with Buckland Funding. You can learn more at bucklandfunding.com. Follow them on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. For anybody that's listening or watching, if you're thinking about buying land, whether it's hunting ground, rec property, or just dreaming about your own piece of property for a while, Buckland Funding is the place you want to start with. So thanks, Shawn, for joining us. Buckland Funding is a division of First Bankers Trust Company. First Bankers Trust, you can learn more about us at firstbankers.com, all spelled out. And we want to shamelessly plug that you can now fully open your checking accounts, savings accounts, and other accounts completely online, anytime, anywhere at apply.firstbankers.com. That's all we've got for today. Thanks, Shawn, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you, Kyle. I appreciate it.
Thanks, man.